The Legend of Korra Book 4 completed the entire series, and it ended with a big surprise to some, but not to others.
Honestly, after everything that's happened the past few months, I could use a vacation.
Let's do it. Let's go on a vacation, just the two of us. Anywhere you want.
Really? Okay. I've always wanted to see what the spirit world's like.
Sounds perfect.
And of course, this mirrors the ending of Avatar: The Last Airbender quite a bit, except for an explicit kiss. Though the creators of the series, Mike DiMartino and Brian Konietzko, have explicitly said it is exactly what you think it is. They are in a relationship now. Deal with it.
Win! We all win!
You know what? Xander, who's a frequent contributor to the show, texted me that exactly.
This is wonderful. I am so happy about this.
This is a really unusual for a kid show, but I think this show has dealt with so many like really mature themes. Not that this is a mature theme, but this is new to a kid show, to say the least.
Well, what I found most interesting about this run of Airbender stories with Legend of Korra, this was much more not about her finding herself as an avatar and finding her abilities. Those all came naturally to her. Mm-hmm. It was about finding who she was as a person.
Yes.
And this ending is much different, whereas thematically a lot of the same things happened, but this ending is more about her being comfortable with herself. And when you look at the whole story, her journey is not about becoming the best avatar, it's about becoming the best version of herself. And that relationship at the end, the acceptance of herself, it's wonderful. I love it.
That is a good point, because I remember early on she had lost her, spoiler alerts, this is all spoilers, because it was the end of the series. She had lost her avatar abilities, that she didn't know who she was or what value she had, and it seemed like she was very depressed, if not contemplating suicide. At one point, though, I think it has been said by the creator she was not contemplating suicide, but it was a very dark moment. And it has very much been, she lost her connection to the spiritual world. She's very brawny, and she's very much in control of her elemental powers, except air. But later she is.
And I don't know about you guys, but I really feel like this show was designed for the teens and the preteens that had been watching Avatar's children.
Oh,
and
definitely.
This was a lot of themes they're dealing with now. And you know, there's finally a show where if there's a girl who likes girls or a boy who likes boys, there's a cartoon that like says, hey, that's okay. You can do that because that's natural and that's okay.
Yeah, if you were 9 when Avatar started, you're what, 18 when Korra ends? So I mean, the show grows with its audience.
Yeah, hold on. Yeah, that's
18?
No, I had a friend who was age appropriate for Avatar before, and he's 21 now, so.
Oh, okay.
Everybody always puts the caveat on it for a kid's show. It's very dark for a kid's show, very subversive for a kid's show. How dark does a show have to be before we say, hey, maybe this isn't a kid's show anymore?
Well, it's on Nickelodeon, which is...
It's on Nick.com.
Nickelodeon had always owned the rights to the show and had always been the ones in charge of airing it. It wasn't never like Viacom or Turner, it was just Nickelodeon proper. And it dealt with a lot of issues, inner issues, emotional struggles, physical struggles. There is a major character death at the end of the first season, and it was very mature for a kid's show. But I felt like this show was one of the best shows around, masquerading as, you know, this cartoon for children.
You know, I watch animated stuff all the time, and a lot of times I hear this caveat of for a kid's show, and I'm like, I wouldn't watch it if I felt like it was just for kids. There are moments where a monkey goes, ooh, and you're like, all right, that was obviously for children. But by that, but it's one of those things to me where I wouldn't watch it if there weren't very adult themes about it. I wouldn't watch it if there wasn't something there for me. And I think the amount of new ground that show broke, both of those series broke, both storytelling and what you were allowed to do in animation, has changed how animation is going to work on television for the foreseeable future and off television now, apparently, since their distribution went all over the place.
Are we happy with Nickelodeon because they made such a mature and subversive show, or are we disappointed that they didn't have the balls to keep it on television all 4 years?
I'm not giving Nickelodeon the credit for this. I'm giving the creators of the show the credit for this. And, you know, they proved
Certainly
over this season.
Without Nickelodeon, it wouldn't have got funded. We wouldn't have gotten to book 4.
If it wasn't for Avatar: The Last Airbender, it wouldn't have gotten funded, which was definitely more of a kid's show or more in that vein.
I also think that if it wasn't for fan outrage that it wasn't being put on television, and the amount of voices that were heard.
Well, there was a point where the budget got slashed and the choice was either air a clip show or punish the staff on the show, and the creators were like, no, we're airing a clip show.
Right.
Because they just didn't really have a choice budget-wise.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things where I don't think Nickelodeon actually did right by the show because they wanted it to succeed. I think it was just, we're going to have a large contingent of our fan base mad at us if we don't make it look like we're supporting this. But I think some of these things that they brought up, Nickelodeon had reason to kind of distance itself a little bit in their mind. I don't think they had a legitimate reason. I don't think they should have. But there are a lot of different things. When they were moving around where it was going to be shown, it just wasn't exactly the best thing for that show. And to see it have such a good ending after all of that, and the fact that it did finally get out to TV, I think that in and of itself is an awesome story.
I certainly agree with you, Brian. But what do you think, audience, of the finale and the milestone the show has reached, not only in that last scene, but in its run as a whole? Let us know below in the comments, and please be sure to subscribe for more.